So this is the 9th tutorial in the tutorial series about Pygame. Now in this series, what we are going to do, this is the code. Let me go scroll so that you can see the read. So in this series, what we are going to do, we are going to learn how to do transformations on images. Now the transformations on images, we're going to learn how to scale an image, how to flip an image, and how to rotate an image. So let me first split out this. Also this. So now, what we come here to see is how to scale an image. What does scale mean? Increasing the size of an image. So if you wanted to increase the size of an image, how would you do it? We would have to transform that image. So to transform that image, what we shall do, we shall say, first load our image, right? After loading our image, I don't want to bleed this image onto the screen. I don't want to put it on the screen. I've loaded it. So after loading our image, what are we going to do? We're going to scale it. Now the scale function from pygame.transform.scale, what it does, it takes in the image and then the scaling factor you want to give that image. So I have loaded my image, the cooling image, but let me load an image called windmill, I think. Windmill. So I'm loading my image, the windmill. After loading the image, I want to make a new variable, and I want to call it my pygame.transform scale, then image it to 500 and 100. Let me call it, I think, 500 and 100. Then I want to say my canvas will bleed, meaning make the copy of this transformed image onto the screen at position 0, 0. Flip it. So if I run the code, I can see my image is here. It's a windmill, but does not look good. It's like looks with it 500, 100. Maybe let me try to make it 100, 100. So let me run the code, and you can see it's here on the screen well. But I think let me make it 200, 200, 200, 200. So you can see my windmill has been scaled on the screen here. So scaling, what does scaling does, changes the size, changes the width and height of the image. So let me try to flip the image. So what I do, I'm going to first remove this code here, and I want to remove this scale. So I want to first scale my image into called wide image, pass in the image, transform it. Then stop running this code here. So now flipping an image. So to flip an image, the image I want to flip here, I want to call it my wide image. This is the image I want to flip, the one I've just scaled. So to flip an image, I want to call flipped image. Then from flipped image, I want to say pygame.transform.flip. So what does the flip take? It takes in the image which you want to flip, whether it's transformed or it's not transformed. We have just loaded it. Takes in the xbool, ybool. What does this mean? It means that if you want to flip it according to the x-axis, make it true. If you want to flip it according to the y-axis, make it true. So if you put x and y both true, what it's going to do, it's going to flip it. The whole thing will be flipped. Let me show you the illustration. So let me see. So here you have what should I call it? Where is it? Where's my image? It's here. So you have my my image here, and when I try to flip it, I'm going to say, okay, find the x, let it be flipped to true, and the y be flipped to true, and then what I'm going to bleed on the screen will be my flipped image. Then I'm going to run. It's not showing the flipped image. I think let me come here and change this to cooling. Changing it to cooling. Let me come down here and change this back to image. And if I run the code, so I can see that this image was flipped. It not initially like this, but let me change this to true. That flip the whole thing according to the x and according to the y. So if I run the code, see that all of this image has been flipped upside down. So what these two Boolean values mean is this. If I say flip it according to the x, if I make x true, it means that it's going to flip it according to the x this side. And y, if y is false, means that the y is going to be kept constant, so it's going to flip it according to the x. If I make my y false and then I make my y false and then I make my x true, it's going to flip it according to the x. If I make both of them true, it's going to flip according to the y and according to the x both. So that's how you would flip an image. So let me delete this code. Now you're going to come to image rotation. I'd like to how to rotate an image. So to rotate an image, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to call my pygame.transform.rotate. So what it does, it takes in the image and then it takes in the degrees you would like to rotate it. So the angle should be in degrees you would like to rotate it. So after me rotating my image, we are transforming it. I'm going to save it in a variable, and then that rotated image, I'm going to bleed it onto the screen at position 0, 0. So after bleeding it onto the screen, I'm going to call my pygame.display.flip. Then it's going to put it onto the screen. So if I run the code again, I'm going to see that my image has been rotated at 30 degrees. You can continue rotating it at different types of degrees. So yeah, that is how you do some image transformations in Pygame.